Alright, so disclaimer, I'm not an expert, so take all this with a grain of salt. But I think that what I'm going to tell you stands up to common sense, and if you try it, I think that you might benefit from it. You know, I've struggled with some pain in my left wrist from practicing a bar chord over and over again. So don't practice bar chords repeatedly over and over again consecutively, okay? And also, for me, when I get injured, I don't even necessarily experience pain like in the moment when I'm practicing. I might feel like stiffness, and that's kind of my warning sign. When I start feeling like a little bit stiff, it's not even pain necessarily. I know that I'm doing something too much, like the same motion, or maybe I'm squeezing the neck too hard, that kind of thing. So part of this might be paying more attention to what you're doing and your body, listening to it, and learning how to detect when you're going too far, too hard, or whatever, and then backing off. So that's kind of been like my thing, is I've been learning how to do that, how to identify when I'm squeezing the neck too hard, when I'm doing the same thing too much, so on and so forth. So I think, that for me, that's been a huge takeaway the past couple months, learning how to identify those kinds of things. As far as practice goes, what you want to do is you want to teach your hands the jobs that they have. So the right hand's job is to pluck the strings. It has the strength and the power. The left hand, its job is to put down just enough pressure to produce a sound and nothing more. You don't need anything more than that. Any more pressure is wasted. And in fact, can lead to injury. So to kind of illustrate this to yourself, I would just make a chord, maybe one finger in its own fret. I'm just using this one here, whatever that is. So first, pluck hard with your right hand while lightly resting your left hand fingers on the strings. And it'll sound something like that, right? I want you to push down with the left hand as you're tensing the strings with the right. And once you reach the maximal pressure that you're going to apply with the left hand, relax both hands completely, okay? And I don't want you to start with the maximal pressure. Start with a light pressure, so just push down a little, relax. Push down a little more, relax. Okay, a little more. A little more. Okay, we're getting sound now. So maybe do that, when you start getting a good sound from it. Maybe do it 4 or 5 times. Okay, that exercise will help you to learn the difference between what the hands are supposed to do, the role that each hand has. And then I'll do that with my arrangement. So I'll start going through my arrangement that I'm working on with very light pressure on the left hand. And also I do it pretty slow when I start out. Then I'll apply a little more pressure. And then a little more pressure yet. So I'll go through my arrangement like that, with like 3 different pressure settings, I guess, with my left hand. Another exercise you can do is the pluck technique, and it's very similar. It's kind of similar to our first exercise. So you push down with the left hand until you get just enough pressure to get a good sound, and then you completely relax and just go through your arrangement like that. Go very, very, very slow, and you don't have to maintain the rhythm. So it might sound like this. You got to be really conscious about the tension that you're holding in your hands. Each time you pluck, you release tension in both hands completely relax. just reiterate this point. When you pluck, you tense the strings, and as you're tensing, you're pushing down. So if this is illustrating downward pressure, and watch my right hand at the same time, I'm tensing and I'm pushing, pluck, release. Tensing, pushing, release. Tensing, pushing, release. Like that. So I'm pushing down in perfect harmony with my right hand as it's tensing, okay? They're synchronized. So that's the basic idea. I run through pretty much the whole arrangement like that. You got to be really mindful when you're doing this stuff. You know, be in your hands when you're doing this. Really think about what's going on. You know, visualize the pressure that you're applying with both hands. You can't just do this like haphazardly and expect to get good results from it. You know, practice should be really intentional. There you go. Let me know if you have any questions. Hope it helps.